Hey everyone, so I have an energy tip to share with you all today. This is something I shared probably 3 or 4 years ago, but I've heard people talking about it recently with a little bit of confusion. And I just got done teaching another class on it a couple days ago, so it's like super fresh in my brain. So I thought, why not come on, rehash that video, make it more digestible, put it in a pretty little bow or tie it up with a pretty little bow, like make it just a little more, I don't know, maybe come at it with a different analogy, make it easier to understand. So, sorry, I've got a string that is bothering me. It's on the topic of energetic protection. So a lot of people ask me what I do for energetic protection, and they're super surprised when I don't answer impenetrable bubble. And instead, what I say is that I just keep my energy hygiene up to par. Do my energy hygiene every day. I keep my energy strong and robust where it instantaneously and effortlessly filters information. Mine, not mine. Relevant, irrelevant. Beneficial, harmful. For me, not for me. You get the idea, right? I'm not going to do that for like every single topic. And I don't actually sit there and say that every day. I'm not just like, okay. It's just an intention that I set. So why would that be more beneficial than these impenetrable bubbles? Let me kind of explain it this way. A lot of people think that your energy ends where your aura ends. Your aura is this energy system that has layers to it, and it has a somewhat definable border. Your energy actually extends beyond that. It extends indefinitely in every direction. So you're existing everywhere all the time. Although, yes, you do have these energy systems that are in close to your body and they are definable. That is very true, but your energy is actually everywhere all the time. So if you're just working in this bubble, like let's say we set that bubble to the edge of your aura, you're effectively only protecting or clearing the energy that is within that bubble. But what about the energy that's outside that bubble? You're not doing anything with it. So you're really only protecting so much of yourself. You're really only protecting or cleansing or clearing so much of your energy. And it's really simple to just shift that intention. And maybe mentally or emotionally, you're not comfortable with the idea of letting that bubble go and letting this realization, okay, if my energy's everywhere all the time, then I could just clean my energy every day. If that's uncomfortable, that's okay. Maybe for now, you just make that bubble a little farther out. You push it out a little farther. Or maybe you thin the wall a little bit. Or you just put a little hole in it. Or you cut it open a little bit and kind of access what's beyond that to get comfortable with it. So if you're putting this cap on your energy, you're missing information as well. Information that might give you a piece of the puzzle for the bigger picture. Excuse me. Let's say you are working to develop your intuition. You're working on your psychic abilities. You want to strengthen your intuition. They're related, but they're different, your intuition and your psychic abilities. So your psychic abilities are the senses through which you arrive at your intuitive nudges, your intuitive hits. And you're working in this protective bubble space. You're not accessing all information because you're only willing to work with the information inside your bubble. Or let's say you're willing to work with information outside that bubble, but when you do that, you're not used to that energy, how it looks, how it feels, how it sounds, how it smells, how it tastes. And so you might perceive it incorrectly, or you might read it incorrectly. Perceiving it is just the sense of it, which sense you experience it through, and the reading of it is what is that information telling you. So that's another thing to consider with bubbles. Think about your brain. Your brain is filtering buttloads of information all night and day, but we're only consciously aware of a tiny amount of that. In my case, my brain didn't do the best job filtering information for me because of the environment that I grew up in, the people I grew up with. So I had to really consciously work with my brain to start telling it how to filter information to my benefit. I'm just doing the same with my energy. I figured out how to do that with my brain, figured out how to do with my energy, and now they're working really well with each other. So I think the brain is a really good analogy for what we can do with our energy. Other things to consider. I did a post earlier this week where I was talking about how energy affects the physical and the physical affects the energetic. They're in relationship with each other, right? So if I'm working just in this impenetrable bubble that I put at the very edge of my aura, I'm effectively telling my cells, my tissues, my organs, whatever, small is safe. I'm afraid. The unknown is problematic. You could take it as far as you want. Like you can say that however you want to say it. But over time, that bubble might begin to have an impact on my physical well-being. And let's say you are someone who's trying to work on making your world bigger instead of smaller, either because of your symptoms, whatever you've got going on. Having your energy sort of help you get there by making your energy more robust, a better filter, it's going to help you feel safer to do that in a physical sense, mental, emotional, in a physical state. So those are just a few ideas to sort of get you going. I've worked with a lot of people who they'll come to me and they're like, I love that idea. That's great, but it's really working well for me, this bubble. Like I'm loving my bubble. It's working great. And then they'll give me examples of how they're working with their bubble. And it's very clear in their example that it's actually not working for them. It's working for them maybe 50% of the time or 70% or 80% of the time, but it's really not effective all the time. So why not then just have your energy be super big and robust and filtering information really well for you? And then if anything goes awry, then you have those same tools that you can use to make it easier, to get through it, to make it better, rather than have 50% or 75 or this 50% or like 25% or whatever it's ineffective for you. Whereas if you make your energy big and robust and it can filter, can handle just about anything, you're really increasing your efficacy. You're really increasing your joy factor. You're increasing all kinds of things, right? I'm starting to lose myself here. I'm talking a lot today. So I think you get the idea. All right, well, if you have any questions about energy hygiene, if you're interested in a reading or a class, let me know. I hope that was helpful, and thanks for hanging with me.